Some people are always in a hurry. They run when they could walk, race up steps when others take it slow. When Joe Biden's president, America is just going to have to keep up.
A Biden campaign ad from last year. Just some political false advertising. Joe Biden pretending he's 28 when he's really 78. And as is typical for Joe, I've seen this before, he believes his own hype. He believes his own lies. And this time it caught up to him big time, and I knew it was going to happen. He took a terrible tumble, 3 of them actually, getting onto Air Force One today. Ooh, that was bad. Now, I'm glad he's okay. But when he took that 3rd fall, if you watch, it's 1, it's 2, and watch this. This is the worst one, 3. And he was almost totally down. Yikes, right? This is not a good day for Joe Biden, no doubt about it. These optics matter. And he looked terrible. By the way, it looked like he might have had a little bit of a limp at the end, possibly a bruise or something like that. Sharp salute, I'll give him that. Is he limping, or is he trying that fake jog all over again? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But the president went down today, and it's very interesting that the mainstream media barely paid any attention to it. They would go hog wild anytime a Republican made any kind of faux pas or clumsiness. I said this was going to happen. I didn't want it to happen, but Joe took a minor trip last month, on February 9th, actually, and I put it all together. And I remember that ad when Joe was biking and running and all that stuff, and I thought, too much, too fast, and slow down from February 9th. When you're the man, everybody's looking and watching, and I've noticed something about you, and actually, from the heart, sir, this is sincere, it concerns me. You're taking those stairs a little bit too fast. This whole running thing, this whole trying to convince everybody that you're a man of vitality. I've seen you run down ramps, run on stage, run off stage. It's going to catch up with you, and we're starting to see it. Take it easy, okay? Fair enough? Fair enough. He's 78, okay? Shouldn't be running. My advice to President Biden, please, Mr. President, walk, don't run. Well, he didn't take my advice. President Trump watches this show, but I guess not President Biden. No one has made a big deal out of this, and arguably this is just optics. Arguably this is not substantive, but I think there is actually something deeper here. I was watching a lot of cable television today, and virtually no one talked about this. Here I am taking in all the networks, and it wasn't on. But I do remember when President Trump made a speech last summer at West Point. After the speech, he was leaving. Take a look at this video. It dominated cable news for a weekend. Folks thought he was walking a bit slow. Now, that ramp had no guardrail, you'll notice, and the president later said it was quite slippery. So he wisely took it slow. The fake news made such a big deal out of that walk, which did not result in a fall. Take a look.
There are some questions this morning about President Trump's health, and it's because of this video of the president where you see him walking very haltingly, one leg at a time. It starts happening here, down a ramp. Maybe he just has a hard time going down a gently sloping ramp, but do you see something possibly neurological that could be throwing off his balance?
Whole panel, what did you think, Dr. Sanjay Gupta? Well, and Joe Biden made fun of President Trump over that moment.
Look at how he steps and look how I step. Watch how I run up ramps and he stumbles down ramps, okay? Come on.
Joe, it doesn't impress anybody. It doesn't impress anybody. You know, actually, Barack Obama used to give Joe Biden a hard time about his vanity, about how Joe knows he looks good in sunglasses. He thinks he looks good when he runs. And Joe was doing way too much running all over the place. All right? I told him to slow down. He did not take my advice. But what really got me thinking about this was Donald Trump and something he said way back in 2005. It's time for a little Trump truth.
You are fake news.
So watch this. Whenever President Trump got on or off Air Force One, or anytime he had to take some stairs, he was very careful, gingerly went about it. Take a look, take it full. He's not going fast, he's holding the rail, and I know it was noticed by a lot of reporters, and they were very snarky about it, how slow he moved sometimes, and they admiringly looked at Joe Biden and his little fake jog there. So why did Donald Trump move so slowly? He did it for a reason, and it was very, very smart. I hate to bring up the Access Hollywood tape, but when he was having that little conversation with Billy Bush, they actually talked a little bit about presidential history. Listen to this.
It's always good if you don't fall out of the bus. Like Ford, Gerald Ford, remember?
Gerald Ford, remember? I remember Gerald Ford, our 38th president of the United States. Fell like you read about. Take a look. That was one of his tumbles. Once was really all it took, and then he was branded, a klutz for the rest of his presidency. Chevy Chase invented a whole genre of making fun of presidents on Saturday Night Live, and his first target was Gerald Ford, who was, America found out if they didn't see this, they saw Chevy Chase pretend he was Gerald Ford.
Now, as we can see, the Ford popularity is certainly on a sharp rise here. Whereas the... Live from New York, it's Saturday night!
Back then, they didn't even put on makeup or make it seem like he was bald like Gerald Ford. They just put on a suit and he was the president. Anyway, I know that affected future President Donald Trump. He didn't want to be that guy, and he was never that guy. So, Joe Biden, I think this is another time. I'm going to say it again. You should know by now, you got to slow down. It was that third fall, that oomph, that was bad. All right, listen, I don't like you, but as a person, as a human being, I want the best for you, okay? Stay healthy. We'll be right back.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.